available for level. Mic gain set to -10 to -11 dB. Average signal -10 dB. Dreaming Dragons commentary selected takes in order of sections. Sections numbered. Recorded Nagra 3 full track. No reference signal available for level. Mic gain set to -10 to -11 dB. Average signal 10 dB.
Glastonbury Tor, cradle of mystery, watches the town sleep. In sleep we dream, and in our dreaming we begin to penetrate mysteries beyond mere words. The greatest mystery of all might be found here. Such is man's quest for the unknown. Cut. Take two. A pillar of timeless stone becomes a pillar of flame that takes a dream beyond the boundaries of the earth itself, and with the thunder of his ambitions we can also hear the rising voice of inquisitive man asking questions that lead to yet deeper and greater mysteries. What is it that draws us to the stars, and yet compels us to seek out the solitary places in the world? And what is it that takes the inquiring mind into the strange universe of new mysteries we find unveiled by modern psychedelic drugs? Are we simply attracted to mystery by our intuitive knowledge of secret and esoteric currents flowing through the fabric of our lives? The strange world of the occult, supernature, echoes of lost Atlantean glories? We know we are poisoning our planet with the products of our inventive genius. Every day we pump hundreds of millions of cubic feet of poison gas into the air we breathe. Cut. Take four. We know we are poisoning our planet with the products of our inventive genius. Every day we pump hundreds of millions of cubic feet of poison gas into the air we breathe. Cut.
Section 6, take 1.
Despite this abuse of our atmosphere, the sky remains a marvel of color, the greatest of all nature's canvases. It is in the sheer glory of such portraits that we begin to perceive things greater than man, written in the pages of an endless and waking dream that is reality. We see dimly the gathering clouds of disaster on the horizon of history, as major incidents create a new awareness of an increasingly dangerous relationship with nature. The products of folly and arrogance can produce another kind of dream, the nightmare. The gentle and the thoughtful too easily turn into the outrageous and the bizarre. An endless scream of pain and horror echoes round the globe while the individual looks on and seems quite helpless. Cut, Steve. We got baffled twice. I just noticed it.
Hold on, Mervyn.
1 second.
Take 1. Right. Section 9, take 1.
Man against nature. the ultimate fight for supremacy. There can be no victory and no defeat in the battle against the elements. Cut.
Section 10, take 1.
We have learned to strip the atom into raw energy, and by doing so, poised ourselves on the brink of oblivion. Man's greatest assault on the forces of nature may prove to be his last. The hallucinogenic trip is a detonation in the secret chambers of the brain, balancing the raw energies of life and perception. We see it as a dream of transcendental beauty, or it is reduced by our fears into the stuff from which nightmares are made. Cut. When we are confronted with the savage dramas drawn from man's worst nature, we pass into realms of Gothic terror, and imagination is not needed. As the mystery of man's nature unfolds itself, we pass through doors of perception into a new and unexplored mansion of uncertainties. We lock out ugliness, only to create new prisons of fashion, style, and dogma. Amidst all the confusion and fears, the still, quiet places attract more and more people in search of tranquility and a sense of peace. Is this what has drawn so many people to Glastonbury Tor for over 1,000 years? Perhaps it is here that a strange and mystical aura of tranquility informs us of something more profound than words. A magic process capable of transforming the troubled spirit and calming the strife of minds in conflict with the world and nature. Glastonbury Abbey is a pile of rubble, the once proud seat of learning, reduced by Cromwell's armies and now shattered by weather and age and decay. Legend tells that here lies King Arthur, his tomb hidden beneath the grass. Why should a pile of stones like this attract so much attention and draw so many different kinds of people to it? Why is Stonehenge so important to us? Is it because we know that this is more than a ring of massive stones standing in mysterious splendor on Salisbury Plain? Two eminent professors say it is an astronomical computer. What other secrets does it hold for us? 4. We look at these Neolithic stone monuments and marvel at the engineering technology that made them possible. Did these mighty works really come from the hands of a semi-barbaric tribe of nomads who had not even invented the wheel? Archaeologists insist that they did. Real mystery stares us in the face, and we are reluctant to look for the real answers. For just suppose if we do look, we find that the beings who built these works were greater than man himself. For just suppose if we do look, we find that the beings who built these works were greater than man himself. Every great center of civilization was born on a mound of myth and legend. One such legend that has endured and still persists across the world is the tale of the Golden Dragon and its equivalent. From the empty sky or the barren plain and the deeps of the sea comes a strange dragon-like creature, or a flying machine, bringing the gods, who are fabulous creatures with an advanced wisdom. They teach primitive man the arts, sciences, and new agricultural techniques. Cut. 18 extra. They teach primitive man the arts, sciences, and new agricultural techniques. Once we understand that this myth is as widespread as man himself, from the Eskimo to the Australian Aborigine, we are forced to ask ourselves a question. Was there once a single race that spread across the globe, bringing to the underdeveloped nations new sciences drawn from some enigmatic source, still unknown to us? Are these relics of an alien science? What prompted the Mayan princes to set up an observatory in which the priest astronomers could search the skies as if watching for some immense event to come? A modern observatory like this owes its origins to very ancient skills. Cut.
Section 20, take 1.
Was the golden dragon of olden myth a reality translated by ignorant men into a symbolism whose language had no words for technical matters? Did the dragon breathe the fumes and fire created by rockets and leave a trail in the sky like a modern jet aircraft? And if they did, is this the popular source of the legendary unidentified flying object, flying saucers, golden engines in a blue sky, a modern myth born of an ancient reality? Cut.
Go ahead, please.
Section 21, take 1.
Books, maps, and diagrams are a maze that leads towards enlightenment. The ancient scholars used codes, ciphers, and metaphor to conceal from the masses the real meaning of their researches. Cut.
Section.
The map makers of old also sought to show a relationship between man and the cosmos, the study undertaken by students of the occult. Many examples of these mysterious and magical charts still exist, but the art of reading them is largely lost. They are maps of the consciousness unfolding as the meaning of life and the universe is revealed to man through the medium of geometry and form. Art is the real language of the mysterious, perpetuated in the secret knowledge of the occult masters. Cut. There are new maps of the consciousness being drawn up today, which perpetuate the same secrets in the enigmas of electronic marvels. New languages made of electronic pulses are telling an old story, yet even today the sciences are giving way to metaphysics. Modern speculations are as bizarre as any postulated by the medieval magicians. The flat earth gives way to black holes. Demons are replaced by psychiatric jargon. Atomic particles dance the mysterious rhythms of the cosmos, and are no more visible than the ghosts and phantoms of past imagination. The mystery of Glastonbury is solved only when we turn the clock back and look at the skills of these ancient and unknown scholars. We see how the town of Glastonbury was built to a design that is an ancient occult symbol, the Vesica Pisces, a symbol that represents perfect harmony between forces. Just played back the section. This is an elementary example of how early man employed cosmic forces in town and country planning in an attempt to reflect in his works the essential harmony of the cosmos. From the Vesica Pisces comes our knowledge of geometry, architecture, ratio, and proportion. In Glastonbury, the forces of harmony operate in this way to make from a small town a place of immense psychic power. The lines of energy we find in the Vesica Pisces, transferred to the surface of the earth, create a phenomenon called the ley lines, 3,000 years before the birth of Christ, the Chinese had drawn up regulations that governed the use and abuse of such lines of force. They called them dragon lines. In England, the Romans built roads on them, for a ley line, unless diverted, will run in a straight line forever. They are sometimes called the old straight tracks. Like a complex web, they span the globe, the nervous system of the earth. Cut.
Section 29, take 1.
These fantastic figures are so big that they cannot really be seen properly unless viewed from a great height. According to many different sources, UFOs fly along ley lines, just as dragons flew down dragon lines in ancient China. Are these some form of recognition signal, navigational aids for those mythical golden dragons? It may be that this mysterious underground structure, the famous Shell Grotto at Margate in Kent, might provide some clues to this mystery. The ground plan of the grotto is a symbol itself, a winged serpent passing through a circle, the same grand design of both Stonehenge and Avebury. In the Shell Grotto we find maps of the solar system. Although the date of the grotto is unknown, it could be that here is proof of a visit from beyond this earth by dragons. Dragons that were machines. This is Cop Heap at Warminster, in the heart of UFO spotting territory, and a stone's throw from Stonehenge and the Neolithic monuments. In the grave of an unknown Iron Age prince, an amateur archaeologist recovered seashells on this spot. Is there a link between this forgotten tomb and the Shell Grotto in Margate? Who were these ancient men? Is there a portrait we can look at in our search for answers? No one knows who this is. He has been here since before written history in this country. He is another mystery. Is he in fact one of the giants who tamed the golden dragons? Or perhaps one of the giants who rode on their backs? The symbolic dragon on the church spire, the mythical St. George, patron saint of England, is reputed to have slain a dragon. The myth endures. There was no such person as St. George. The same tale is recounted in the legend of the Lambton Worm, a wingless dragon that terrorized the north of England and was killed by a local knight. War between the forces of light and darkness. Thunder from clouds was the same as the roar of the dragon. The dragons had to die. But we know nothing of their coming or going, nor the direction from whence they came. The famous Rollright Stone Circle is in Oxfordshire. Ley lines radiate out from it. The stones move, a fact accepted by the government surveyors, who find each year that the number of stones here has changed. Is this a weird computer like Stonehenge, with moving parts? Did it come into being as part of some secret system for the use of dragons and their masters? Many people think so. Silbury Hill, the largest of all the man-made structures scattered about the English countryside from the dim past. It is matched only by the fabulous Great Mound of Qing in China. Cut.
Section 37, take 1.
Two artificial hills form the twin hearts of the ley line system, lines of force we can locate and measure but not understand. Power, harmony, perfection. All quests end here. Beneath its gigantic dome, nearly 6 million cubic yards of earth, a dragon lies sleeping, say the legends. It guards an ancient treasure, will wake when the world ends. From far distant stone circle, hill and mound, ley lines converge here. Silbury Hill is more than a mystery. Excavations show that there is nothing inside it. It is not a tomb or a mass burial place. If there is a dragon sleeping here, it is not a dragon of mere matter. On this hill, young men have dreamed dreams and old men have prophesied for centuries past. Greater than Glastonbury Tor, mightier than Stonehenge, and more awesome than the incredible half-mile circle of stones at Avery nearby, Silbury Hill stands guard on an unknown past and the mysteries of our future. It may well be that we will never know the true identities of the men who raised this monument to a lost science. But as modern man climbs up from barbarism to new pinnacles of knowledge and insight, so these wonders will be revealed and unfolded to us. In the flowering of a new golden age, the sleeping dragon will stir. The ley lines will be used once again. The mystery will solve itself, and all dreams become real.